Okay guys, today we're going to be closing the sprinkler system. The first thing you want to do is run all the zones and see if you have any broken heads or any major issues, because if you do, air is just going to come pouring out of there, and you're not going to have enough pressure to blow the system out properly. Plus you should just fix this stuff so you don't have to deal with it next year. So I ended up having to fix 3 heads on this one zone here because when I was running it, I was getting nothing popping up. All right, so that's an important step. And next thing you want to do is turn off your water in the basement or wherever your main shutoff valve is. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay guys, to turn off the sprinkler, the water to the sprinkler, you should have a main entrance here. That's your main shutoff. And then you have your meter. And then in my case, it branches up, and this is the sprinkler line right here. So that's the main ball valve for the sprinkler. This turns the sprinkler water on and off when you open a zone. And this is a check valve, so water doesn't flow that way. And then it goes up to both sections. This is the front yard and the backyard. Okay, so to turn it off, take the ball valve and you just close it. So when it's facing the same direction as the pipe, it's on. And if you look at it, you can see which way to close it. But so here, just close it like that. And there we go. Now, no new water will enter the system, even when this opens up, which would normally allow water to flow through. Now that's closed. Well, now this is closed, so this can open all at once. So when we open the zones to blow the air out, this is going to open. I mean, no water is going to flow through there. All right, then we're going to start this compressor up. Now, when you get a compressor, you're probably going to have to rent one if you don't have this. Thing's like $1,000, and you know, sprinkler shutoff companies usually charge between 80 and 100, so it's not going to be worth it unless you're like me and you like doing your own stuff. Plus I use this to fill up all the pool toys and a bunch of other purposes. So see if you could justify that. You need one that can push out at least like 15-20 CFM. I think this one's rated at 14 CFM at 90 psi. We're going to use about 50 to 60 psi. They tell you 50 if you have a poly system like I do. I'm going to go with 60 to 70 because I have an acre, and you know, it's a longer run, and 50 is usually not enough. All right, so then you need this tubing. This is just regular air tubing. This is 3/8 inch, and I have this attachment here. Okay, what does this do? This goes from the standard air connector to hose bib. Okay, so, and it has also a nice ball valve there to turn it on and off, which comes in really handy as we're blowing out the system. And then we got over here, okay, I did all these valves too, but it's not important right now. I just pulled the covers off to make sure there was no leaks. So this is actually my pipe here that I'm going to attach that shutoff that I just showed you, that adapter right to this right here. This is where the hose is going to go in, and then we're going to open this, which will allow, I'll open this now because I already shut the water in the basement. So I open that up, nothing's coming out, and so that's basically it. So what we're going to do is, using your panel or your app, if you have an app that you know, turns your sprinklers on, you open one zone at a time. Okay. Once your zone is open, let me hook it up and I'll show you. Okay, so once your zone is open from your sprinkler panel or app, you come over here. You make sure the PSI on the compressor is set to the right value that you want. Okay, so let's say I want mine at 60. So I come over here. When I open this valve, 60 PSI is going to go into here, down there, and whatever zone's open is going to get blown out. Okay, so let's say I opened zone 1. So you want to make sure you open the zone first so that the air has somewhere to go, or else your zone valve here is going to be holding all that pressure back, which is probably okay, but you know, better off to open the zone and first. And then what we're going to do is, when we're done blowing out that, we're going to close this first, and then we're going to close the zone. That way all the pressure is turned on and off by here, and we don't put all that stress on our zone valves. Okay, so let's give it a shot. I'm going to start the compressor up. It's going to be a little noisy, and we'll do one together, and that'll be it. Okay, before I turn this on, I want to mention another thing. See, there's the pressure gauge. So let's say when this gets up to 60, okay, Now when I go over there and I open that valve, immediately the pressure is going to drop to like maybe 40, okay? So I have to come over here because it's going from 60 with no resistance. Then when I open that up, now that air's got somewhere to go, so the pressure drops here. So then I come back and I crank this up, back up to 60, okay? Because that's the target that I want. And then you'll see all the sprinkler heads popping up. When you think that the water is totally cleared out, you come back over there and you turn off that ball valve. All right, so here we go. Okay, now it's running. So I have it set to exactly 60. You set it, you turn this back and forth until you get that to 60. Okay, so now we're over here. I'm gonna open this up. I already turned on zone number 1. Open that up, you hear the air go through. Come back here and crank this back up to 60 again. You can see the sprinklers popping up, and they are. So that's blowing them out right now. You see that? You got 4 on this zone, okay? Usually the furthest one away is the one that's going to be the last one to start. You want them all to be doing that. So this one's going to start there, and that's when you know all the there's nothing but air left in there. That one's already blowing air. Gotta wait for this one here. I might crank the pressure up a little more. Yeah, see, once I cranked it up to 70, it started blowing out air. Yeah, that's good. Now we come over here. Like I said, turn this off first. Now there's no more pressure going into the system. And now you can do your next zone. So I'm going to open zone 2. I'm going to repeat the process. Again, I have a long run. You might not need 70 PSI. On the internet it tells you between, I think 50 most sites say. Some say you go up to 80. The guy that used to do my lines, I think he used to do like 70, 80. So I'm using 70 on that long run, and I have other runs that go all the way out the backyard. Alright, we're going to do another zone together. This is zone 3, and I have 3 heads. I'm going to crank the pressure back down to 60, because that's where I want to start. Okay? Come back over here. Slowly open this. Okay, now we're going to crank the pressure back up to 60. See, they're already running. And crank it back up to 60. Okay, get that. The air's coming out of there. The closest one. Then we got this one and that one over there. Okay, and then we got that one. Alright, that's pretty much good to go. Just want to see that little mist coming out where you know you got all the water out. Like I said, come back over here, turn this off first. Okay, now you're going to see the pressure on the compressor shoot all the way up because I closed that valve. Make sure you crank it back down to your starting point, 60. Alright guys, after I blow out all the zones, I go back in reverse and I do them all additional time. Alright guys, just to wrap this up, yeah, you can see it's easy to do yourself. This is the minimal compressor I would recommend for this. You know, you're better off renting one. If you can rent one, do that, that's great. Get something minimally this, depending on the size of your yard and all that. This seems to work for me. I've been doing this for a few years now. I didn't have any problems. Some of the longer runs, the last sprinkler on the line will be a little weak like you saw before, but once I do it twice, it gets everything out, at least enough where it's not going to freeze under the ground and cause any problems. So, all right, hope this helps. If so, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.